Welcome back, guys, to another Clash Royale video, and today we're taking a look at this Hog Freeze strategy that is currently being used by a couple people at the top of the leaderboards. Taking a look at the top 10 right now, first place we have a giant poison deck, I believe. Then second place we have this Hog Freeze strategy. Third we have another giant poison. Fourth is another Hog Freeze strategy. And then fifth we have giant poison. Sixth is also giant poison. Seventh, we have here another giant poison. Eighth is another Hog Freeze strategy, guys. And so is ninth, I believe, as well. Ninth is another Hog Freeze strategy. And then 10th is a minor cycle deck. So as you can see, out of the top 10, I think 4 people are using this Hog Freeze deck. And I know a lot of you guys have been asking me to do a video on it. So let's go ahead and take a look at 2 replays. And then we'll finish off with 1 or 2 live battles. So here we are, guys, facing off against a giant poison deck. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use the pump as my opening move because I'm lucky enough to have it in my starting hand. By the way, all these replays as well as the live battles will be challenge tournament battles. If you didn't know this before, some of my comments are still only level 9 in this deck, which in my opinion are kind of low level for ladder at almost 4,000 trophies. Now, my opponent started to set up a slow push on the left hand side with that princess, the lumberjack, and then eventually the giant as well. And things actually look pretty nasty for me for a quick second. Gonna go ahead and use the cannon to distract that giant, but he's coming in pretty hot here with the mega minion as well, and things are looking pretty bad. But a clutch poison spell going down, killing his princess, and then slowing down the mega minion as well as the lumberjack long enough, allowing both towers to finish them off with 0 damage done to either of my towers and 0 damage done to that electric pump, which is pretty important, protecting those pumps with this strategy, because the ideal push with this deck has the Hog Rider, the freeze spell, the poison spell, and maybe even a support troop in there as well, which does cost a ton of elixir. So you want to try and focus the first 2 minutes of a battle on getting as many pumps as you can down and protecting those pumps. So as you can see, using that knight to protect the pump from the miner. Going to do a split push with these archers behind my king tower here. The poison spell should go away before the archer walks into there. And the main strategy with this deck, guys, and one of your best friends, is utilizing split lane pushes, using the archers on both lanes as well as the barbarians on both lanes. Gonna go ahead and use the poison spell on the right hand side to kill that princess, then use a Hog Rider on the left hand lane with a freeze spell to freeze the tower and freeze the mini P.E.K.K.A as well. Now when you're using the freeze spell, it's a pretty hard card to use because the counter pushes can be extremely hard to deal with if you use the freeze spell improperly, because all you're really doing is freezing all of your opponent's defending troops and giving them more time to build up elixir to come back at you with a counter push. So you have to know when you can handle the counter push before you use that freeze spell. And in that instance, I knew I had a bunch of barbarians as well as archers on his side of the arena that would kill the giant as well as the mini P.E.K.K.A before they came back at me, so I felt safe using that freeze spell. Now, Knight going up there, getting a couple of hits off. Both of his towers are sitting pretty low, but his minor Fire Spirit push did a ton of damage to my tower earlier on, bringing it down to 1,300 health. But once again, setting up another push on the left-hand side. Hog Rider going in with the poison spell. Then once the freeze spell is available, gonna go ahead and freeze both the mega minion as well as the mini P.E.K.K.A. Hog Rider doing work to the tower, bringing it all the way down to 200 health. Now I have a pretty strong counter push to worry about. Like I said before, the freeze spell can be both a blessing and a curse. Gonna go ahead and use the barbarians in the back to distract the support troops, with the miner under the effect of that rage spell doing work to my tower. Now if you notice, I used that knight to push back the miner, but he remained targeted onto my tower. Some troops like the prince as well as the mini P.E.K.K.A, if they get even the slightest bump at a tower, they retarget, but for some reason the miner doesn't, even if you drop a troop in front of him between the tower and himself. Now poison spell finishing off his tower, giving me the 1 crown lead, and with only 3 seconds left, that is going to be a good game. So let's go ahead here to the next replay. So here we are, guys, facing off against a double giant strategy. Really aggressive deck being used by my opponent here, but he also has the rocket in his deck, which means he has an excellent counter to my elixir pump. Now if you have the pump in your deck and you're facing somebody that has the rocket, the ideal location for that pump is in the middle of your base between both of the towers. That way they can't hit both your tower as well as the pump with that rocket. But that only really works for the first pump. If you cycle all the way to a second pump, you're almost forced to use it in the corner of your base. Now with this strategy, in my opinion, it's one of those decks that does require a bit of practice before you get really good at it, because the freeze spell is a hard card to use. If you use it at the improper times, you're going to have a really big counter push to worry about, and you can often do a bit of damage to your opponent's tower, but then lose the battle with that one counter push. So you have to know your limits, you have to know when you'll be able to defend against the counter push, or you have to have a plan in place to take out your opponent's defending troops while they're frozen. So with this strategy, what that really means is going in with a Hog Rider push with that freeze spell as well as the poison, and you might also want to have some support troops in there as well. That's why I love doing slow split lane pushes with this deck using the barbarians at the back by my king tower, is it gives you more time to build up all the elixir you need for that freeze spell, the Hog Rider as well as the poison, and then that way, depending on which lane your opponent decides to defend, you can go in the opposite lane with that Hog Rider push. And also, like I said before, that's why the pump is pretty important for this deck. That's why you want to focus the first couple of minutes on getting as many pumps as you can down, because it really helps you afford those expensive pushes. And not only that, while you're doing a push, while all of your opponent's troops are frozen, the pumps are giving you more elixir so that when they come back on a counter push, you already have enough elixir to defend successfully. Now, as you just saw, that was a pretty clutch push with that Hog Rider, the freeze, as well as the poison, taking out all the minion horde as well as the goblins. And not only did I take out a tower, that also was a pretty equal elixir trade in the process, which means I don't have a counter push to worry about, which is the ideal attack strategy with this deck. Now, my opponent's starting to set up a slow push on the right hand side. Given that I already have the 1 tower lead and that both of my towers are still pretty much full health, all I really have to do is just keep playing defense, and I should be able to hold out for the 1 crown victory. He's coming in here with both giants on both lanes. Gonna go ahead and use the barbarians to take out the Royal Giant, with the cannon, the knight, as well as the archers to hopefully take out the regular giant. And like I said, just really playing defense here, holding out for the 1 crown victory. Looking back at it, I probably could have tried to set up a counter push here with the Hog Rider as well as the poison, but I decided to use a pump instead. I just played defense because in tournament battles, there really is no difference between taking out 1 tower or taking out 2 towers, because the crowns don't count towards your crown chest. So knight going down, taking out the witch, with the archers in the back providing support. And at this point in the battle, I am going to switch to offense here and try and put on the pressure. Barbarians going down with the freeze spell, freezing the princess as well as both towers. He drops down barbarians of his own, but all that really means is my opponent is spending all of his elixir defending his tower, and he has no time to set up any more offense, so I will be able to get the 1 crown victory. Let's go ahead here and do some live battles. So here we go, guys, facing off against level 9. Give him the old thumbs up here. Is this the Goblin Stadium? I think it is. What do we want to do here? Split push with some barbarians, maybe? I don't like the starting hand, though. I always prefer to have this pump right here. Let's poison these girls right here as well as the tower. We can cycle to a pump. We don't want to use it just yet, though, because we want to wait to see what he does next. Or we hit 10 elixir. So, hitting 10 elixir. Let's go ahead and do this. Right here. He's going to pump up as well. Now, do we want to... Let's do a split push with barbarians here. Hoping to distract some of the minions. Nope, not distracting any of the minions there. So let's go archers back here for support in this lane. There we go. He's going to fireball, which honestly I am okay with. Because both of these barbarians should die by the towers. So let's go ahead and do a slow push there with the knight. And do a poison spell here. Just really trying to slow play it, get as many pumps as I can down for later on. Pump down here in the corner. Now that I know he's using giant, this pump in the middle I won't do, because he's going to use his poison spell and get value. So we're going to wait here for a quick second and then use our archers right here with a knight right here. There we go. No poison by him. Is he not using the poison spell? Let's poison this right here, though, and get value, I think. Like I said, just really slow playing it. Another pump going down here. Let's use a cannon here. We are in trouble. I need those pumps to get me elixir quickly here, guys. There we go. Of course, of course it targets the barbarian instead of the 1 health minions, but we're just really building up an elixir advantage here, guys. So let's go ahead and split push with some archers here. Split push with some barbarians up here. Then we're going to do a Hog Rider, Poison, Freeze. Hog Rider here. Poison. Freeze. There we go. Cannon here. With a knight back here. Archers here. And then another poison spell right here. Actually, let's use some barbarians instead. Barbarians right there. There we go. Now we're going to poison this right here. He's doing work to our tower, though. There's that poison. Are we able to defend here? I think so. Let's pump up in this corner here. Like I said before, I think this is one of those decks that does require a bit of experience with before you get really good at it. Let's do a knight back here with split archers. Cannon here. And we're going to use some barbarians in the back here. Take out this. And we should be able to do a Hog Rider, an aggressive Hog Rider, poison, freeze. Freeze. There we go. Hog Rider doing work with that poison spell. One more hit. There we go, guys. Getting the 1 crown victory. Hit him up with a good game. And all you need is that one final push in overtime to win the game. So let's go ahead here and do another live battle. So here we are, guys, facing off against a level 9 from the Funhouse. This should be a pretty fun game. Hit him up with a good lane. Good lane. Good luck. Let's see here. What do we want to do? Split Barbarians to counter this Prince. Pump is pretty deep in the deck cycle here, so let's go ahead. Those Barbarians might be able to kill... No, they won't. Let's go ahead and do this right here. And then those guys should be able to take that out. The tower, the Mega Minion is fairly weak on the health department. So the tower should do work. The only downside there was that the tower was out of range, so the Mega Minion is going to get 2 hits off. Which I'm willing to accept. But I wouldn't have taken any damage if I were to use the Knight within range of the tower. So my mistake. Let's see what we can do here. Do we want to poison? Or do we want to split push with archers? Let's split archers right here. See if they poison. We're going to poison this though. There we go. And we're going to split barbarians right here. And, oh, that giant though. There we go. Unfortunately, the cannon was dropped like half a second after he dropped the poison spell. So let's go ahead and do this knight right here. Otherwise, the musketeer would have got a couple shots off. Now, I really don't like the fact that that giant got a hit off my pump, taking out probably a good 1 elixir advantage that I would have got from it. So let's go ahead, archers here. They should meet on my side of the arena. The tower will help take out the musketeer. The archer's walking a lot slower than I thought, though. So we're going to take more damage there on the tower on the left. My mistake once again. Now that he's using poison, or now that I know he's using poison, like I said before, going to use the pump in the corner. And let's see here. You got to be really careful with this deck. I don't like doing aggressive Hog Rider freeze poison pushes before double elixir, just because I find it really hard to get all the elixir back by the time you want to do a defense. So let's go this with this. Have freeze available. There we go. Freeze this. Boom. Freeze. Archers to take out the Mega Minion. There we go. Now the counter push here, guys, is going to be very, very real. Watch this incoming counter push right here. But Barbarians in the back should do work for me right here. Come on, Barbarians, please. With a Knight as well. Can somebody kill those Princes? Let's use a poison here, guys. The Giant shouldn't do too much damage. We're going to use the Archers here, though, to distract this Musketeer. And we're kind of in trouble here, guys. We overextended there earlier on. Knight here. Let's use a freeze here. And we're going to use Barbarians. Maybe that freeze was a huge waste, guys. I don't know. Knight here. There we go. Take out the Giant, please. Split Archers up here. Maybe set up a counter push afterwards. Poison this. We're going to try and do some poison cycling here. Maybe I should have frozen there. No. I think if I would have frozen the left-hand tower, it would have been bad. Let's do this. With some split Barbarians once again. Let's use a Knight here. I want to get this freeze up ASAP, though. Actually, that's Archers instead. The Knight will tank that Prince for me. Then we're going to do a Hog Rider freeze push. I find that Hog Rider freeze in overtime is so clutch, because you only need a couple seconds, really. Let's poison this. Poison, please. There we go. There we go, guys. Getting another 1 crown against Giant Prince Poison, which we all know is extremely powerful right now. Anyways, guys, though, that will be the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help me out. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.